Hey guys, before I start the video, I just want to let you know that I tried to sleep last night and it was I slept great, but once I woke up, I started to feel very sick to my stomach. I started clenching my fist, and it's because I got images of this fan fiction inside of my head. So I'm a very desensitized person. I'm not bothered by a lot of stuff. So I just want to let you know that unless you want to have serious regrets, don't continue with this video. I'm just giving you a warning. This story is very, very disturbing, and it is probably one of the worst things I've ever read. So just want to let you guys know, just giving you a little heads up. Don't continue with this video unless you have specific triggers to things like gore, and I mean like extreme gore and sexual violence. So thank you for taking the time to listen, and on with the video. Okay, so I'm back. I actually really couldn't read that last one in good faith, so I decided to, I'm just gonna summarize it for you. She watched porn, and Atsushi, literally just did a pump and dump, if you know what I mean. This one sounds a lot more disturbing. It's called like IYE, Love You. Tags and warnings. Gore, graphic descriptions, incorrect use of eye socket. That's where that comes into play, I guess. I don't even know why I'm reading this, but I don't know. Maybe it'll be weirdly funny. I doubt that, though. The first line is already just so fucked. Why are you crying, darling? Atsushi cooed, getting a spoon out of his kitchen drawer. My body trembled weakly on the cold floor with no clothing to cover my pathetic, chained little body. Oh my god. Okay, so thankfully, I do think these are grown-ups, like grown adults. I do think these are grown-ups. At least. I can't believe I'm having to say this, but at least these are grown men, I assume. I don't know. My pathetic, chained little body. No, Atsushi. I began to beg before Atsushi thwacked me over the head with the spoon, the metal hitting my head and dinging in the room. Oh no, this is a girl. Well, this is gonna be even more disturbing. Okay, fun. You naughty girl, Atsushi uttered to me ever so softly. Dogs don't speak. Atsushi bellowed, the sheer loudness from him. Okay, first of all, how long is this? Okay, it's not too long. I may be able to read this. The sheer loudness from him caused me to shrink back in fear. Here, I'll make it so you don't cry anymore. Wait, I whimpered, choosing not to finish expressing my plea when Atsushi raised the spoon again. I was so terrified of the punishment that was about to be done to me. However, my legs trembled in arousal how dominant my beloved was to me. Well, considering he has a spoon and this has incorrect use of eye socket in the title, yeah, you should probably be very disturbed. Oh, look. Someone replied to a comment I made on this. I actually found out about this fan fiction from a video. It's from some dude called Leo TV, Ashy TV. Yeah, he's a great YouTuber. I just discovered him. So thanks for introducing me to this depravity. Anyways, it was always so hot when he was like this. His commanding voice sent a shock of pleasure directly to my bare pussy on the floor. Atsushi's hand reached out and cut my cheek and chin. His hand was as delicate as a feather grazing my cheeks. This wasn't the perverted sense of romance I was used to from my beloved. It was unexpected how gentle he was being with me. Yet it was a welcomed experience.
However, I cried as his nails dug harshly into the fragile skin of my cheeks, leaving welts in their wakes. Atsushi's grip was resolute, his gorgeous eyes burning a hole into me. "Wait," I blurted out, my eyes widening as the spoon in Atsushi's hand spun to point at me. "Wait, no." I'm not going to be doing that Valley Girl voice. Atsushi brought the spoon in closely, oh, ever so closely. I said I wasn't going to do that. I tried to close my eye from the invasion of the spoon. Oh my. What? But my beloved, oh my dear beloved Atsushi pulled my eyelid up with his thumb and forced the tip of the spoon under my eye. Okay. Who invited Lee Winnell into this? Is that his name? Hold on, I think his name is Lee Winnell. The guy who wrote the original Saw. Yeah, this is the dude. He wasn't the director. I thought he was, but the director was James Wan. Funny thing, that's the only film he made. This is gonna get disturbing, folks. So I'm warning you. The sharp coldness of the spoon sent chills down my body, and I wailed as Atsushi began to push the spoon deeper into my eye. "It hurts, Atsushi, it hurts." Oh my god. What are you doing? Atsushi pushed the spoon into my eye socket until he couldn't push in anymore. Then he began to scoop up. I screamed and clawed at his arm. The feeling of my eyeball being dragged out of my socket was excruciating. Tears streamed down my face, and I could feel a thick, warm liquid from the eye socket. "Atsushi, please stop!" Yet Atsushi continued to scoop. This is actually really fucked up. I don't know who wrote this, but I hope you get a mental health evaluation soon enough. I hope you take your medication. Yet Atsushi continued to scoop, his face now alive with excitement as he watched me suffer. He seemed almost mesmerized by the sensation of moving his spoon around inside my head. Oh my god, that's fucking horrifying. The spoon's edges dug and scraped around the sensitive muscle of my eye socket, each grind burning and causing more blood to flow out. This is fucked. Sickening squishes began to echo inside my head as the eye began to turn to mush from the force of the spoon digging around in my eye socket like it was some whisk battering dough. It hurt so much, yet I knew it was a punishment for what I did earlier. This is not a punishment. This is goddamn enhanced interrogation techniques from the fucking CIA and Guantanamo Bay shit. Something I did upset my beloved Atsushi. This is something pathetic little me deserved. No. No, you don't deserve that. Okay, where was I? God damn it. God fucking damn it. Okay, here we are. I felt like hours until there was nothing left of my eye. Except the mushy, chopped up pieces of my eyeball rolling around on the spoon. Atsushi withdrew the spoon out of my socket, chunks of my eye hanging off the... Oh my god. Oh god, I moaned as I felt the stretch of the optic nerve pull out from my head. Oh god, along with the spoon it was wrapped around. The nerve gradually inching out of my head sent shocks through my body, almost making me come on this spot. Oh my god. Why are you turned on by this? Atsushi stopped pulling the spoon until I cried out that he couldn't drag it out anymore. Instead, he grabbed the nerve with his hand. Oh my god. I screamed as his fingernails dug and scratched back and forth together, trying to separate the... Oh, God, he's trying to cut it with his fingernails. Oh, my God. Oh, God. Trying to separate the nerve from my head. My head felt light from the sheer amount of pain and arousal of his nails digging into my nerve. My pussy squirted at the... Okay, that's pretty... it's not funny, but... my pussy squirted. I need some lighthearted stuff that's like, you know, not depraved. At the sensation of the last bit of flesh attaching my eye to my head snapping. I panted and wheezed pathetically as Atsushi brought the bloody spoon to his face and sniffed, admiring the scent of my blood and flesh. You smell so delicious. He licked the blood off the bottom of the spoon, clean. Almost like a child licking the frosting from a spatula. Atsushi opened his mouth wide and slid the spoon into his mouth, sliding the chunks of my wrecked eyeball into his throat. Oh! Oh my God! I could only stare at my beloved in aroused horror as he pulled the shiny, clean spoon from his mouth, the smacking of his lips in pleasure from the taste of me. The Atsushi enjoyed my taste, even if it was of my eyeball. If Atsushi enjoyed my eyeball that much, I could cry at the thought of how much he'd enjoy my other eye. Blinded be damned. Actually, it's blinding, or being blind. So the proper sentence should be, being blind be damned. Or getting blinded, whatever. I sat there in horrified arousal, trying to process what had just happened. After she had taken out my eye and desecrated it like it was nothing but a piece of delicious fruit. I felt violated at how he scooped my eye from my head, yet I let out a moan when he looked at me and slurped the nerve of the spoon. Oh my God. When he slurped the nerve of the spoon off the spoon like some noodle. Atsushi smiled at me, softly at me, noticing my aroused expression. You liked it, didn't you? His voice was a low purr of satisfaction that sent a shiver of pleasure down my spine. I tried to shake my head in denial, but I just couldn't lie to my beloved like that. How much longer is this bullshit? Atsushi leaned down to me and proceeded to examine the damage he had done to my quivering, twitching body. His hand grabbed my bloody chin, the side of my face covered in a trail of blood from my empty socket. The inside of my eye socket was mangled and bloody chunks of flesh hung from open wounds caused by the harsh... Oh my God, this is too much detail. Caused from the harsh scraping of the spoon. Atsushi leaned in close, and I could feel his hot breath on my face. He softly whispered in my ear, "You're so beautiful even when you're disfigured." He then kissed me sweetly on my bloody cheek, his lips leaving a wet noise from the blood smeared on my face. If I ever get to watching this anime, I'm never gonna see this character in a normal way. His hand slid from my chin back to my eye. His thumb gently caressing the abused muscle and oh my God, this is making my eyes hurt actually. The abused muscle inside of my socket. I moaned at the feeling of Atsushi rubbing my socket, panting the harder he went. Why are you being turned on by this? Isn't this like unbelievably painful? He stood up and I whined at the loss of his thumb inside my bloody socket. However, my disappointment was short-lived. At the sound of Atsushi's belt unbuckling and his pants unzipping. Oh no. Oh no, my teary vision admired the sight of Atsushi pulling his throbbing cock. out from his pants and jerking off, spreading the pre-cum from his tip down to the base of his dick. As much as I wanted to suck it right then and there for him, I knew there would have been punishment if I acted without his permission. Oh my god. Atsushi ran his fingers through my hair and held his hand against the back of my head. "Don't move," he whispered. The tip of his cock teased the edge of my eye socket, leaving a trail of pre-cum that mingled with my tears and blood. My breath hitched in my throat as he began to push past the resistance of my eye socket structure. A faint crack echoed inside of my head as his cock strained against the fragile... Oh, okay. Okay, wow, this is actually making me feel really sick to my stomach. Congratulations, anonymous author. And apparently you're a doctor, if one of these comments is to be believed. So, yeah, very good detail for a doctor. I mean, obviously there's good detail. You're a friggin' doctor. A mix of pain and pleasure seemed to reverberate through my entire being. Each time Atsushi's cock pressed against the fractured bone, the tiny pops echoing in my head sent bolts of bliss through my brain. Oh my god, no! Oh god. Oh, I couldn't help but mindlessly moan at the pleasurable ache as Atsushi continued his pushing, the head of his cock finally breaking past to the inner sanctum of my eye socket. Each inch that forced its way inside was a new wave of pleasure that elicited gasps and whimpers from my lips. How much longer? Okay, there's not much left. Atsushi's fingers tightened in my hair as he pushed deeper into my eye socket. Feeling of a large object sliding into my skull was almost unbearable, but I welcomed it with open arms, knowing that each second brought me closer to the peak of pure ecstasy. Isn't this supposed to be a punishment? Why are you finding pleasure in it? When he was fully embedded, Atsushi spoke to me ever so gently. "You want my dick inside of you, don't you? You naughty girl." I nodded eagerly, wanting nothing more than for this moment to end. What? That doesn't make any sense. If you... wanting nothing more than for this moment to end? So you're saying that you want this to end. Like, what are you even... He released his grip from my hair and slowly pulled out from my eye socket. I gasped at the sensation of his cock pulling out from my eye. Oh, blood and bloody chunks falling along with it. God, I wish this was made by someone incompetent. Atsushi moved slowly, allowing me time to adjust to the sensation. I am literally clenching my fists as I read this. I moaned as the tip of his cock rested against my cheek, and I screamed until my voice gave out into a silent whisper as he rammed his cock. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, my God. That is horrible. My other eye rolled into the back of my head as the punishing thrusts began. Loud squelches echoed inside of my head with each thrust of his cock ramming into my socket. And the fact that this is like an anthology and there's just going to be even more fucked up shit, I'm dreading this. Oh my God. It felt as though my brain was being stabbed by how fast and deep he fucked into my head. More blood streamed down my face, and I was gurgling moans from the sheer amount of blood running down my lips. I felt dizzy from how fast he was pushing my head forward and backward. I swear he must have hit my brain at some point too, with how tingly the inside of my head felt. Atsushi was turning my head literally into mud. Oh my God. This is only chapter 5. This is the 4th freaking chapter. Oh my God. The pleasure of my eye socket and quite possibly my brain being fucked into a pile of mushy flesh was too much for me to handle, and I cried out as I felt my orgasm bubble up inside me. Each thrust into my head knocked a moan and convulsion out of me. I actually feel sick reading this. I genuinely can't feel my arms. This is horrible. I don't sound it, but this is bad. This is really bad. My pussy throbbing with sheer need. My body shook with the intensity of it, tears streaming down my face. Atsushi's cock jerked. Okay, we're nearing the end, guys. We're nearing the end. Just a few more, two more paragraphs. Atsushi's cock jerked inside my eye socket as he pounded it like he was hammering meat. His fingers gripped my hair, almost as if he was trying to rip my hair straight off my scalp. His thrusting got harder and rougher. His hips smacked against my face enough to bruise me. Oh, my nose felt numb from how hard he kept slamming into my skull. Oh my god, I don't know if I can actually finish reading this. He moaned quietly and twitched to a stop deep inside of my socket, his hot cum filling my eye socket and spilling out down to my face. The sensation of his cum flowing into my head sent shockwaves of pleasure through my body. His thrust soon slowed and his cock pulled out from my eye. Chunks of flesh and gray matter hanging off from his dick and spilling out. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! No! No, that is genuinely, that is so horrible. That is horrible. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! That is horrifying. That is actually horrifying. Oh my god. I sat there shaking from coming repeatedly. Tearily, I leaned forward and licked the bloody tip of his penis, savoring the taste of my flesh and blood, exactly as Atsushi did. I swallowed his cock down my throat, and then I slowly slid his cock out from my mouth, my lips catching any chunks of flesh and brain matter that stuck to his dick. The tip of Atsushi's dick popped out from my mouth and turned my head up to him, making a show of swallowing my flesh and brain matter. Or just matter, whatever. I lopsidedly smelled at Atsushi with my bloody teeth. He smiled back. Good girl. Dude, I'm not even kidding. That was probably one of the worst things I've ever read in my life. Like, no exaggeration, that was actually heinous. I cannot find the words to describe how viscerally disgusting this whole thing was. It was utterly vile and reprehensible, and the fact that it was made by a licensed practitioner of medicine and doctrine, it makes it even worse. So, to whoever finds this video, thank you for listening to all of this. I did read the previous chapter, but I'm not going to post that because it involved underage stuff and it is absolutely disgusting, and I don't want to expose you guys to that. So thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this. So I don't know if I'm ever going to return to this story, and if I do, Lord knows I'm not going to enjoy it. So thank you for listening to this, and goodbye.